this week's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about Kanab, which is one of our favorite places in Utah to visit. And in fact, we had so much fun the first time that we went, we decided to go back for 2 weeks. And when we were there for 2 weeks, we kind of didn't remember to film too much. So I'm going to grab Mark and we're going to show you some of our favorite places from both of our stays and talk about it.
Kanab is an awesome place. It's everywhere you want to be in Utah, and I think it's like one of the best kept secrets in the country.
I think so too. So like I said, I started to edit the video and I'm like, where's all of our video? And then we checked our multiple resources, our video cameras and everything, and there just wasn't much, but we had a bunch from last year also. So we're going to fill in, we'll show you stuff so you don't have to just look at us the entire time because nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, it truly, it was so much fun that we forgot to film a bunch of it. So we were just enjoying ourselves.
Real quick story, how we found Kanab. We were boondocking on the north rim of the Grand Canyon, which if you have not been to the north rim, like I tell everybody, it is completely different. You have to go. It's only open for a small portion of the year, but it is just absolutely beautiful and a totally different vantage point. But anyway, we've been boondocking and it's like 1,500 feet higher up on that side where we were.
Yeah.
And so it was nice and cool. And it was starting to get warm out and we have 2 fur babies that we have to take care of. And we needed to move on. And so Mark had to do some truck work and he found Kanab, which was only about 35-40 minutes from where we were.
A little longer, but yeah.
Yeah. And then he called me and he's like, there's this really cool town here. And he was telling me all about it. So he came back and the next day he's like, let's go check out the town. And so we needed a couple days to find something. And so I found this campground that had some space where we could like plug in. And we'd been boondocking, so we needed actual showers also. Yep. And so that's how we stumbled upon Kanab. And when we arrived, we had no intentions of really necessarily like...
Yeah, we thought we'd stay a couple days.
Yeah. And we didn't have any intentions of going to Zion.
Yeah.
We had no idea really what to expect. But we got there and we're like, oh, we're like 30 minutes from Zion. Let's hop in the car. And so that's kind of how our adventure in Kanab started last year.
Yeah, so Kanab is only a few miles across the border from Arizona into Utah. So you're in the very southern western corner. Zion's nearby. Bryce Canyon is nearby. You can make a day trip to the north rim of the Grand Canyon.
Yep.
There's also another place called Pipe Spring, which is a national
I think it's a historic
site.
Yeah.
There's Pink Sand Dune State Park.
There's the back on the Arizona side, there is the Navajo bridge is that way. The
Vermillion Cliffs.
Yes. Grand Staircase Escalante.
Yeah. So there's just like
a
million things.
And Page is like an hour away.
Yeah,
from there.
it's like an hour to drive to the Horseshoe. So if you've ever looked at Instagram, you've probably seen pictures of the Horseshoe, which is a big bend on the Colorado River that everybody takes selfies from.
Right.
So that's like within an hour of Kanab. What is it called? Toadstools.
Yes.
That's a cool hike. I mean, it's just endless stuff around Kanab to do.
Right.
So the first place we went to was Zion, and coming in from the east side
is a totally different experience than coming in from the main entrance.
Yes.
And we had tons of opportunities to like stop the car, get out, and just climb the formations, and the kids loved it. We had a great time on that side.
Yeah, and then you get through to the other side where the visitor center is and the rivers are, and there's just some phenomenal features in there. So, I mean, if you don't know about Zion, you definitely need to put it on your bucket list.
Right.
It's an amazing park. Tons of really cool hikes there. The next place we went to was Bryce Canyon.
Yes.
And Bryce...
that was a little bit of a longer drive. It's probably a good hour and 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Hour and a half. But totally doable because, I mean, we got up in the morning. I think we probably like left at like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Drove there, you know, parked, got on the shuttles, and started doing all of our hikes.
Right. The drive to Bryce from Kanab is absolutely gorgeous.
It's beautiful. Yes.
So just driving there is an experience.
Well, after that, we did go to Horseshoe.
We did go to Horseshoe.
We went to Page, and we saw the dam. We went to Horseshoe. What else did we do while we were out that way? We did stop at a couple of the overlooks for Lake Powell.
Yeah.
And
so to the east of Kanab is Grand Escalante, and it kind of is from the north to the south near the north rim of the Grand Canyon. So it kind of runs to the east of it, but north and south of it. And so if you go past, like you're driving to the Grand Canyon, you can go to a place called the Vermillion Cliffs. And
which, if you know what the wave is, that is where that formation is.
Yeah. So one of the most beautiful places on the planet is right there, called the Wave. You have to get a permit to get in there, and you got to hike a ways, but you can get in there. We didn't have time to get in there or the permit.
No, it's a lottery system for it. And they've got a new updated lottery system where you can do it all from your phone as long as you've got signal and you're within the town limits, I think, or something.
Yeah.
For the same day lottery, they have a several months in advance lottery also. But if you can't get to that, that's not a problem because there are lots of slot canyons around the area, including like Buckskin Gulch and Wire Pass are probably some of the most famous, and that's where a lot of people go.
Yeah, so absolutely gorgeous around there, but also there is the Navajo Bridge, and that's where we saw California condors.
Yeah, that's back on the Arizona side. Was that Campground?
I forget the name of the campground.
I can't look it up. My phone's, we're recording with
Anyway.
I will put it down in the description.
So but
it's the mouth of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, it's the headwaters of the Grand Canyon. Mm-hmm. So beautiful campground there. Beautiful rock formations in the park area.
Yes.
There's
they have some hikes that are like back in there.
Yeah. What were the little houses in the rocks that we saw just before that? What was that place called?
I will put it on the screen that you're looking at like right now.
Yeah, there's these cool little, just right on the side of the road in the Vermillion Cliffs are these houses. They built these brick structures.
They were Native American houses.
Like under like these cool rock formations. They just were like, hey, this is a house. Let's make a house out of this.
Yeah.
Really cool just to explore those. There was a lot of people.
The wind is fierce in that area some days.
But the Navajo Bridge is really amazing just to walk across.
Yeah, the interpretive center, yeah.
They have an interpreter center there, a visitor center, and the condors are there, and it's like a place where scientists go multiple times a day to count these condors and help rehabilitate and get them back, their population numbers up.
Yeah, so I'll actually put this across the screen right now for the condors. There's a place where you can look, because you'll see the condors are tagged. And they have different color tags and bright numbers, and they're fairly big, so you can see them. But on one of the, there was a photographer there who works with the biologists to photograph them to keep track of the condors in the area. You can go look them up and find out where they were hatched, what state they originated from, are they a matched pair, how many babies they've had. So really cool thing. So I'll put that down in the description or on the screen. So you can look that up, because we ended up doing that as a school study for the kids. We pulled up all of our pictures that we had taken, and we looked up each of those birds to find out what states they had originated from, where they had been released and everything. So it was a really cool experience, good road schooling activity.
Most favorite thing we did in Kanab was getting on the side-by-sides and driving out into the desert and tooling around on those things.
Yeah, if you are a Jeep person or you have side-by-sides, Kanab is the place.
Off-roading heaven.
One of the places definitely to go. There is all kinds of miles of trails to slot canyons to amazing cliffs, over sand dunes. It's endless, and you will absolutely see people, riding through town on them. There's plenty of places where you can rent them. Including Jeeps. There are lots of tour companies that will take you out to stuff. So there's endless opportunities. This is definitely a don't miss destination. Yeah,
we took the off-road vehicles out to Peekaboo Canyon, which is like an absolute must to go see. It was awesome to be in the canyon.
Right.
And then just to drive around. And then we went to, what was the arch called?
The Great Chamber.
The Great Chamber. Oh my gosh, that place was phenomenal.
It was really beautiful.
So, and then of course the driving was fun to get to all those places.
Yeah.
But you can off-road in pink sand dunes. We didn't particularly love pink sand dunes because we didn't have a vehicle.
If you have an off-roading vehicle, they have a campground there, and it is pretty awesome. It's definitely, every person at that campground pretty much had a side-by-side.
And you can surf the sand dunes on
Yep.
on wooden boards, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So other than that, Kanab was also the Hollywood of Utah, so they filmed a bunch of movies there back in like the 30s, 40s, 50s. So a bunch of old westerns were filmed there, so there's history about that in town. The whole town's just really cool. It's small. There's like 2 stoplights in the whole town. We really love it.
Yeah, so some other highlights that I want to tell you. If you go to Kanab, here's what to not miss. Go to the visitor center. The visitor center is going to have all kinds of information on Grand Staircase. They'll have some information on Zion and Bryce as well. But this is the most important part. When you go into the visitor center, you can ask them. Or actually, we also went to the Forestry Service office, right?
Yes, there's actually 2 visitor centers.
There's 2 visitor centers.
Go to both.
If you say, hey, I'm here for a day, they have like sheets where they're like, here's some really cool things to do here in a day. And if you say I'm here for a week, they'll give you highlights, and they include like hikes, restaurants, can't miss places. So one of the things that I love about Kanab, and I wish more towns did this kind of thing, is they actually have like one sheet front and back that'll give you like coordinates. They'll give you a topography of a hike, tell you a little bit about it, if there's history to it, what kind, is it easy or hard? And that's probably one of my favorite things. And that's where we found the dinosaur hike.
Yep. So there's a hike to dinosaur footprints.
The Belly of the Dragon.
So Belly of the Dragon is definitely in there. I was just going to mention that.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool tunnel.
Our whole point is there's a lot to do. It's a great base camp. If you have, we spent 2 weeks there, and we easily could go back and spend.
I'd spend a month there.
I would.
Because there's just so much to do.
Yeah, and I'll let you know down in the description, the campground, we stayed at 2 campgrounds. The one I'm going to give you is the one that we enjoyed more.
Yeah, so check the description. If you've stayed in the other one, leave a comment down below and let us know how it was.
In Kanab, I'm going to tell you, it is more small town feel. The grocery stores are like local mom and pop grocery stores, but they're both phenomenal. Like the one's got a whole make lunches, like sandwiches and like all kinds
fried
of stuff.
Fried chicken and stuff.
Fried
it was
chicken.
Great.
It was great.
Big Al's, I think.
Big Al's. You can't miss that when you come to Kanab. Everybody will tell you, if you haven't been to Big Al's for a burger and a milkshake, then
If you guys like this style of video, let us know in the comments down below.
And as always, we want to thank our Patreons for continuing to support us, because it really does. It makes our day to know that you guys enjoy it. So, and if any of you guys are watching and you enjoy this and it inspires you to get out, let us know, because that makes us really happy too.
Yeah.
Because we want everybody to get out. Get away from the office if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next week.
I think next week we are going to Capitol Reef.
Capitol Reef.
Thanks, guys.